There he is. In an X-Men shirt, even.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Love it. He came to play.
Good.
You're good. And Nick could probably turn you up, too, on the recording.
Oh, well, for some reason, the microphone's set to 87, so I moved it up to 100.
Oh,
Yeah, you sound a little better. You just sound a little distant, that's all, but it's no big deal.
Hey, I don't mean to sound so distant.
Okay. Emotionally. Emotionally.
Yeah.
It's just that day, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have your friendship set to 87 right now?
Yeah.
He does that. That's a real problem that he has. But
Okay.
we're working through it. We're working through
All
it.
right.
All right. Sorry.
Welcome to a special crossover between Previously on X-Men and
This Endorian Life, a nostalgic podcast from the Radio Meanwhile Network. My name is Steve Rudd.
I'm Nick Gunning, and today we're settling in for some vintage Saturday morning cartoons with our old pal Eric Mickles from Previously on X-Men.
Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. And today we're watching the episode Picnic Panic from the series Fred and Barney Meet the Thing, which is not something that happens in this show.
It is not. No, they never cross paths outside of that intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode originally aired on NBC September 8th,
1779, I think it was.
Feels like it.
The Funky Planet was
1979, along with Bigfoot Meets the Thing and the Fred and Barney Show episode Stone Age Werewolf.
That's right.
Whoa.
That's right. Okay, so this is based on the Fantastic Four character, The Thing.
Wait,
And-
what?
Yeah, you might have. It was subtle.
Comic books?
It was subtle, yeah. So the concept began as like a higher up being like, I got this idea about a kid with a magic ring who gets powers, but they felt like they needed like a brand to go along with it, and they already had some sort of corporate partnership with Marvel, so where they were like, just call him The Thing.
Right.
And so that's pretty much how
Because
this
of
happened.
the original Fantastic Four cartoon they did?
I guess so, yeah, which I think probably would have been my intro to the Fantastic Four, because I remember watching that 60s cartoon, and they fight Magneto a lot in that. So like when I started watching X-Men things later, I was Magneto in my mind was like a Fantastic Four villain. So it threw me off a little bit. But yes, so the series aired under the banner title Fred and Barney Meet the Thing. Though, as we discussed, the characters only ever interact in the opening sequence where it kind of puts them all together. 2 shorts would air alongside episodes of the new Fred and Barney Show in a 90-minute segment, and these would air September 8th to December 1st, 1979. Now, I couldn't find any written by or directed by credit, so I think they were like, that's okay. You don't have to tell anybody
Yeah,
that I
old
wrote or
school Hanna-Barbera
directed
stuff.
this. But we do know that it was produced by Hanna-Barbera. The Thing, of course, was created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, along with his fellow Fantastic Four members. They debuted in Fantastic Four #1 back in 1961, and Stan Lee and Jack Kirby would go on to create another superhero team, the X-Men.
Yeah.
Did we do it? Did we do it? Did we
They
justify
did,
the-
yeah.
Did we justify the crossover with that?
Yeah, I
Was
think
that
it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It was either the 60s cartoons, or I remember when I was like really little going to the dollar store and they would have comic 2-packs, and you only saw the first one. You didn't really know 2 or 3 packs. You didn't really know what you were going to get. And there was a lot of Fantastic Four in there. So I had a lot of Fantastic Four comics really early on. So I don't really remember discovering the Fantastic Four. It's like they were just sort of always there. But what about you, Eric? What was your first Fantastic Four foray?
I had a hard time trying to remember. It was either this cartoon.
Oh, so you watched this cartoon? You'd seen
when
this
I was
before.
a kid. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was a
An
kid,
OG.
this was on, and I don't know how. I know that when Cartoon Network originally launched, they were using almost all of the Hanna-Barbera archive that they had paid for specifically to fill out their 24/7 Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So it was either this show or the original Fantastic Four cartoon.
Yeah. The 90s show with 90210 star Brian Austin Green as Johnny Storm.
No, not that. I never watched that.
Oh, the 60s, like the classic 60s.
The 60s one that doesn't have
67.
Human Torch.
It's Herbie. Yeah.
It was, yeah, it was either this or that show. And I think as a kid, if you had said Fantastic Four, even though it wasn't four of them, I think in my mind, I actually thought like Herculoids with the other Hanna-Barbera. I think that was what I always was like, yeah, the Fantastic Four, like Herculoids or something.
Hold on, because you discovered X-Men with the Hugh Jackman movie. So does that mean your history with Fantastic Four, it goes back farther than the X-Men?
I mean, I think I had seen one or two of the 90s X-Men cartoons, but yes.
I feel like we all had to have.
Yeah, probably.
I can't tell you if I had seen the Fleischer Superman cartoon, Superman cartoons before I had watched, like, I'm pretty sure I had. So I think Superman is still like the first, like, superhero hero thing that I had seen. But I do remember watching both this cartoon and that Fantastic Four cartoon prior to knowing anything about the X-Men.
I want to say like the late 80s, early 90s when home video was just starting to boom. They put a lot of those 60s series and then oddball things like Pride of the X-Men and stuff would show up on cut rate, like discount VHS tapes that you could get at the grocery store for like $2. And it would have like Fantastic Four and Captain America and stuff like that. So they were all sort of in there. But what about you, Steve? Do you remember your first Fantastic Four?
I'm pretty sure that what you were just talking about, like those cheap VHS tapes and stuff like that, that had like an episode or two of multiple shows.
Yeah.
Right. Just kind of give you a little snippet of each. I'm pretty sure that's how I first encountered Fantastic Four, if not some of the old comic books.
Yeah. I also had a board game, which was really fun.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was just all cardboard, but you'd have to sort of set it up 3D and then the characters would move across. And it was from the Herbie era. So it was pretty cool overall. I mean, the Fantastic Four, I always want to like more than I actually like them.
Sure.
You know? I think you're right. I think so too. I'm sad that you haven't seen it yet, Eric. I think this recent Fantastic Four movie was the best of all of them.
As far as representation of the
Fantastic Four? I think because it felt like it was made by Fantastic Four fans wanting.
Which I didn't even know there were Fantastic Four fans. So.
Apparently, there's still some left. Well, it felt like it was made by fans really wanting to nod Jack Kirby. That's what it felt like. It felt very nostalgic, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I feel like a little kid experiencing like high definition comics, like the original. So I thought it was very good, and I'm a very tough critic when it comes to superhero movies.
Almost irritatingly so. I can attest to this.
I always have something.
Fact, yeah. But speaking of bad superhero stories, I've got a few actor bios to get to here. So we have Joe Baker as the Thing. So he also voiced Hula Hula in Plastic Man, which was a terrible show.
Yeah, he's definitely. I can't remember the name. I saw he's doing an impression of
Jimmy Durante.
Yeah, that cha cha cha.
Yeah, Jimmy Durante. He's like an actor, singer, all that stuff.
Yeah,
and he narrates the Frosty the Snowman, like the classic cartoon.
That's
like,
what
Frosty
it is.
the Snowman.
Yeah,
and
like that.
Which but that's not super uncommon because like Snagglepuss or the Funky Phantom. They were doing a take on Bert Lahr, like the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz, and the Flintstones is basically just the honeymooners. Exactly. So I mean, Hanna-Barbera had kind of history of being like, let's take these famous voices and then just have somebody mess with it. But he's definitely doing a Jimmy Durante. We have Wayne Morton, who voices Benji Grimm. So the two sides of the character are voiced differently. He did some Scooby-Doo voice work and appeared in 2 episodes of The New Monkeys. Not super relevant here, but when else am I going to be able to reference the new Monkeys?
Monkeys.
I felt that I should. Yeah. We have Noelle North as Kelly Harkness, and I wondered if there was any sort of like, is this connected to Agatha Harkness at all? Like, are we trying to do some kind of Marvel thing? But I think it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She is Princess Kala in Gummy Bears and Slouchy Smurfling in the Smurfs.
Right. Well, Agatha Harkness did debut in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and I haven't seen enough of the show. I watched this and I watched the Bigfoot one just to get a little bit more context, but I don't know if those, like if they started showing magic powers or something, I would think maybe yes. But it's like the whole Harkness family that we have. So that's a weird coincidence if it's not connected. We have John Irwin as Ronald Radford III. So he's like the Reggie. Oh, he voices Reggie. I was going to say he's like the Reggie Mantle character from Archie, but
he's rough.
He is rough. He voiced Reggie in many Archie cartoons. He also voiced He-Man in the classic Filmation.
Very difficult to believe.
I know. I had to listen for it.
I got to go back and watch it now. I didn't know that.
We have Art Matrano as Spike. He was in lots of live action stuff like Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk, but best known for playing Lieutenant Mauser in the Police Academy franchise. So again, another.
I've seen the first one.
Okay, he's not in that one.
You didn't see like the 9th one or the 10th.
You got to get to Citizens on Patrol.
Yeah, no, I haven't done that. Yeah,
too many for sure.
There's too many.
Michael Sheehan as Turkey. He was Bam Bam Rubble in the Flintstone comedy show. Steve, this biker gang rolled into town, and they reminded me of the Pugs from Party Ewok. Those Andrew Dice Clay-esque, yeah.
Dickory Dock. This guy's made out of rocks.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Why didn't Andrew Dice Clay survive the 90s?
I guess don't Google it. Let's see. Normally on This Endorian Life, we would do a Star Wars link here, but I'm going to make it a Marvel link because of our crossover with previously on X-Men. So Marilyn Schreffler voices Betty Harkness and also Miss Twilly, and I think she gets more action as Miss Twilly in this episode. We see a lot more of her with the banana pie.
That's the same voice actress.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Twilly. Okay, yeah. The principal.
This lady has been in every cool show that you've ever seen in your life. She was in Heathcliff, Yogi Bear, the Flintstone Kids, Challenge of the GoBots, Shirt Tales, The Dukes, and the better forgotten Pawpaws.
Yeah, that did not survive.
No.
Culture.
No. Marvel credits include voicing the computer in the 80s Incredible Hulk show. So not the Luke Perry one, but the older one.
Okay.
Oh.
She voiced Bonnie in an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and had a series regular role of Sally Ann Beaumont in the 1981 Spider-Man series, which is also great. And that kind of leads right into Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Which one is the one that my mom gave you a full VH copy of?
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Okay,
back when it was completely impossible to find.
Yeah.
Eric's mom just sends me Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So
yeah,
has it.
Just
have it laying
around. Just a token of affection. So I do. I have it. I've watched that DVD, and actually, not all of them are on Disney Plus. So I'm glad that I have it.
Oh wow!
But yeah, that's it for our cast and crew. Steve, I know this is an incredibly complex plot. So would you like to walk us through Picnic Panic?
Yeah, I did. I actually wrote a lot. I'm surprised I did. What was like an 11-minute episode? I wrote too much.
It's some of the longest 11 minutes of my life.
Watch what you're saying there, buddy boy.
Yeah. Don't let me get my ring thing.
Ring.
Do your thing.
Also, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, are you planning to talk about the fact that he uses a ring?
Yeah, I think we got to get into that.
Well, I'll bring that up.
I as a kid watching this cartoon, it just felt like, and I couldn't find a bunch of examples other than Shazam, which was another Hanna-Barbera thing. Yeah. But as a kid, as a child, I thought magic rings were just everywhere.
Oh yeah,
in this kind of stuff.
Dakota rings, all kinds of rings.
Yeah, but I just thought the idea, obviously I didn't really know the Fantastic Four to be what the heck? But as a kid, the idea that you would have a magic ring and that would transform you into Ben Grimm's The Thing, it just it made sense to me in the way I thought every other superhero was. You know, I mean, and Captain Planet and all that stuff. But I didn't as a kid, I didn't have the reference point for comics to be able to challenge it. But I did have the reference point for Hanna-Barbera cartoons to be he uses a ring, connects them.
Obviously,
that turns him into the Thing.
Yeah. Well, it's also Wonder Twins. The Wonder Twin powers activate, the fist punch in the center. Also, I mean, He-Man has his he says the words and then he switches from the dork into He-Man, or Thor and Donald Blake, that transition happened like that.
I really thought there was more Hanna-Barbera stuff, but again, it's all I could find was Shazam.
Yeah, I can't think of any other magic ring things specific to Hanna-Barbera. I don't know.
Did the Herculoids have one?
I don't think they did. No. Okay. No, I don't think so.
Shaq movie.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking Shazam or Kazam.
Kazam.
And not Shazam. It's Shazam.
Shazam.
Oh, Shazam, really?
He's a genie, right? He's a genie.
He's a genie that the brother and sister can summon, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad we got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Take
Well,
it away, Steve.
I'll take us out in the picnic panic. It's a beautiful day, and Betty, Kelly, and Benji are excited to go for a picnic.
Benji.
Seems like everyone else is in town, as there's barely any parking. They spot some, but Ronald Rashford III zooms past them and parks his sports car across the remaining spots. Benji hops out and transforms into the Thing. He lifts up Benji's car and places it down in a spot properly, but after giving him a quick spin. Meanwhile, down the road, a biker gang is looking to cause some trouble and stumble upon the Centerville picnic area. Perfect place to liven things up.
Oh.
Ronald is on the lake on his jet ski machine and splashes Benji while he's chatting with Betty. The splash startles Benji and he falls in. His splash, unfortunately, gets Betty all wet. When Benji swims to shore, he's confronted by the biker gang. They laugh at Benji and zip off to cause some trouble at the picnic grounds. The gang interrupts some kids playing baseball, and Spike, the gang leader, hits a baseball right into the school principal Twilly's banana cream pie, spraying the filling all over her. Spike hands the bat to Benji and runs off. The principal finds Benji with the bat and gives him detention. Finding the rest of the picnic food, the biker gang concocts a plan to steal it, a bike race. Spike challenges Ronald Rashford to a race so the rest of the gang can steal the food. However, the gang sabotages the bike Benji is using and he can't stop or steer. Benji quickly transforms into the Thing and acts quickly, lots of quicklies, to move various objects out of Ronald's way, like trees, a mountain, a bridge, and a park department hut. Ron's bike, thankfully, runs out of gas as he coasts across the finish line. Ronald gloats in his victory, and Benji is annoyed, but Kelly reminds him she knows how Ronald won. Walking back, they stumble upon the gang stealing food. Benji transforms again into the Thing, just in time to save Mrs. Twilly's last banana cream pie. He runs off the biker gang and twists their motorcycles together in a knot. The kids finish their picnic while Ronald gloats that his secret to victory is class. When Miss Twilly gets up, the picnic bench flips on Ronald and he crashes to the ground. Kelly jokes that Ronald dropped out of class. Ha ha! Roll credits.
Woo! Okay. This was very much Hanna-Barbera. Like it really it had that whole it felt like
felt classic.
Yeah. But it felt more like one of the sort of like Goober and the Ghost Chasers, or one of those ones that like never really quite hit with an audience. Like all the pieces were there, but it was just a little
like Timu, Scooby-Doo almost.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like it tried to compete with Scooby-Doo. I mean, there was even a Betty in purple.
Yeah.
I mean, right? So
her outfit is I know they didn't use it, but that's like Jackie's outfit in that 70s show. That's right. I know it's a 70s look, but like I saw that, I'm like, this looks like they ripped off this specific episode. Nick, you never read the Stan Lee Jack Kirby Fantastic Four.
No, not really.
Yeah, well, the Yancey Street Gang is a thing in that run, and other writers like later on started giving them faces, but in the comics, in like the first 15 something issues, they existed, but we never saw them. They just would send like pranks to the Thing.
Okay.
And he'd be like, and he would say stuff like, "Oh, Dr. Doom's almost as bad as the Yancey Street Gang." And so they would send him a box and he'd open it and a pie would hit him in the face. And this is like this
is them getting back.
I can't remember if they had given them faces by this point in Marvel history, but the idea that the Thing is antagonistic with the Yancey Street Gang is from the comics. It's just never presented as this weird bike gang that makes like Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers look great.
It's Bulk and Skull. That's exactly what it is.
When they called them the Yancey Street Gang, I kind of perked up and I was like, "Hey, Yancey Street," because that's like does the thing ever have dialogue without referencing the Yancey Street? Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to say it at some point. And I was kind of under the impression that just the concept of the thing and Benji, I guess, Grimm were the only Marvel connections that we had. So I was delighted when the Yancey Street Gang was the antagonist because it did feel true to the comics. And honestly, I think the things like the way the thing is presented as kind of like a jokester when he like twists the bikes all together, when he's like puns and everything, that felt to me like classic Thing, don't you think?
Yeah, the Thing's personality is pretty, like, if the other Fantastic Four members had been there and they were taking on like Mole Man, he would have sounded exactly the same.
Right.
I don't think the dialogue would have changed much.
So I found that to be
Certainly
kind of a pleasant surprise. Yeah, not the delivery. But no, I really thought that was a pleasant surprise, that it actually did feel like we were seeing the Thing from the Fantastic Four rather than just sort of a name-only rock monster. So, you know, I like that. One thing I always love about Hanna-Barbera from this era is the incidental music and like the scenes in the background. You know, and you didn't like the music?
It was just nonstop. The thing that like main theme would show up as they're like just putting the food on the table, like da 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 da.
Yeah,
come on, give me a second.
There's that Scooby Doo that's like bump 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 bum, you know. Yes. And there's just these like they're so good at like throwing these things that suit the scene. You're right. It was in 11 minutes we heard that theme a lot, but it just feels.
That's a good point.
It just feels so right, I guess, is something I liked, you know. So the banana cream pie, I mean, I think that's always a funny bit. I don't know, you know. It's just
does that ever get old?
Character, what's her name again?
Twilly, yeah.
Oh boy. Listen, I watched another episode. It's like episode 21, they go camping. And I watched it because I was pretty sure that's the episode I remember as a kid. I just had a memory of the Thing having to punch a rock. And I'm not entirely sure what I watched was that episode, but that's what I had remembered. And she's like a regular. She's just there. They're going on a camping trip with that teacher. And she's like, oh my goodness, the fallen tree, the tree has fallen. And it's like, oh boy.
Yeah. Hillary also watched this and was delighted for you to take the bullet and do this episode. But she said she thought it was really like a throwback to a simpler time, that the mean, evil biker gang is like, don't let the principal see us or we'll get in trouble. You know?
That's right. Yes.
He's so afraid of her.
They like show up and they're bored. I'm like, this seems like a gang that would like rob a liquor store. And yet they're like, cripes, the principal. Here, Benji, take the bat.
We're going to get detention.
Yeah. That's true. The thought did occur to me. I was like, maybe they're like seniors at the school or something. Like, I don't know. Like they got their motorcycle.
Get suspended. We might have to be held back. Well, I can't do senior year again. My dad's going to send me to boarding school.
Not again. Oh, like.
Honestly, I mean, you know, I have such a soft spot for 70s Hanna-Barbera that I was pretty here for it. You know what I mean? Like if this just was pleasant to me overall. I just had a good time with it and was like, yeah, roll the next one. You know, I got nowhere to be. Let's do it.
If this thing had been part of like, you know, a groovy band, and anytime the band got into trouble, he turned into the Thing, and then he was also the Thing during shows, and you know, you just put Thing in Jabberjaw instead. And
I was just gonna say Jabberjaw. Yeah. There's another one. He's just Curly from the Three Stooges. Well, you remember, you know, in the 70s, there was that Marvel 2-in-1 where it was just a Thing team up with another random. I would like to see a show that is Thing, like it's Thing and Scooby-Doo. Then the next week, it's like Thing and the Funky Phantom. And then the next week, it's Thing. I mean, I would be all for an anthology just like that.
Where's the Marvel Thing 2-in-1 where it's Marvel Thing meeting this Thing?
Yeah. I would all day. I would take that all day.
It's just a bunch of things.
This was an interesting time, I feel like, because it's late 70s. So it is when like superhero TV was kind of coming back, because it had its you know, its initial was like 60s, you know, the classic 67 Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and all that. And then it was like late 70s, it was starting to become a little bit more mainstream with things like Bill Bixby's Incredible Hulk and Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. And
well, Hanna-Barbera, are they already doing Super Friends or the Batman Superman thing?
Yeah.
So they've already done DC Comics, and they've done that original Fantastic Four cartoon.
Yeah,
so,
and Filmation would already have been doing the Superman solos and like the old Aquaman show, Swift and Powerful Monarch of the Ocean, like that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So I mean, like you said though in the beginning, it sounds like somebody just had the idea of the kid with the rings turns into something.
Yeah.
And they could have put anybody in this. It could have been the Hulk. It could have been Spider-Man. It could have been, anything.
Well, that's why I was pleasantly surprised by the extra step they took to actually make it line up with the Thing as you see him in the comics.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Steve, watching this, I don't understand how Star Wars, in the 80s has all the money in the world at the end, and why didn't Star Wars go to Hanna-Barbera or Filmation or something? Like, why did they go to this weird Canadian studio to make like Ewoks and droids and everything? Imagine an Ewok show that actually was like a Hanna-Barbera kind of thing. I mean, that would have been...
Ewoks is post-Jedi, right?
It is post-Jedi. It's like 2 years, right?
Yeah. I mean, for what I read, it kind of seemed like Lucas was just done with Star Wars after Jedi, and it's because of the books and the comics that it really survived at all. So I imagine like Lucas was like, I don't know, find the cheapest cartoon studio out there or something. But
I guess that's true. But I mean, Filmation, like the budget for Star Trek the animated series was shoestring, and they used so many shots over and over again. Like but still they put out a better product that I think than we've seen in the Ewok show and everything. So just watching something goofy like this just made me wish that that would have happened. And why didn't Pride of the X-Men go? That's another thing. It's like that was such a cool packaged product and it just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, wasn't Pride of the X-Men a license thing or something?
That might have been.
I can't remember, and I did an episode on it back on X-Men where we talked about it. It just didn't kick off.
Yeah.
I mean, an Ewoks Hanna-Barbera cartoon, I can't imagine it would look a lot different than something like Shirt Tales or the Paw Paws or, I mean, it almost seems like that's exactly what they would do. They would just do Paw Paws, but it's Ewoks.
Yeah, well, at least those shows are colorful, though. You know what I mean? Ewoks is just like all the different browns. But
how many browns can we fit in here?
Put a little white in there, and then it'll be a lighter brown, and then we can use that as well. Okay,
let's even lighter.
Let's get to our picks here. So we have to do our Oak of Arc moments. So Eric, this is our least favorite part of the episode.
Least favorite part.
Yeah. Do you have one locked and loaded?
This is stupid, but I think my least favorite part, and I'm critiquing this on a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and it makes total sense for that, but it is silly that this is the first episode, and I know that Hanna-Barbera isn't in the business of doing things otherwise, but like the first time you see the Thing in this, it's just to like put the kid's car somewhere else.
Yeah,
it's not an exciting moment, but this show, like, I remember it because as a kid, any action scene seems exciting. I remember the show being a bit more straight and exciting in the same way that Johnny Quest and Herculoids and Birdman were, and it isn't, obviously. It's definitely more... I didn't hear it, but there was supposed to be a laugh track. Was it just on the Flintstone side?
I don't know. I mean, I'm so used to those in Hanna-Barbera that maybe it just washed right over me, but I don't really
it does seem like something that's supposed to have that fake Hanna-Barbera laugh track on it.
Yeah.
So I guess my is the... All right, time to see the Thing for the first time. He's like, this guy's taking 3 spots. Not on my one.
It's relatable.
And this guy turns out to be like their friend because he's also in the camping episode and they're all hanging out.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, that was common too, though, because like, again, Reggie Mantle or the guy from Josie and the Pussycats, who's like the brother who's like just always the jerk, but they're going to have him along anyway. It's like, that was kind of a thing, but that's true. I mean, it was very non-actiony, like even in the action scenes. And I only watched 2 of these episodes, and the Bigfoot one was, I would say, even more slapstick than the one that we just.
So was the hunting. Here. So was the camping one. The camping one, they spend most of the time. A bear at night goes into each one of their tents and scares them. And a lot of the comedy comes from how rich and fancy. What's his name again?
Reginald.
Reginald is. Like, he has an inflatable tent that's actually a mansion inside. Ronald, yeah.
It's a mansion.
It's a mansion, and he's just like, this is roughing it. Like, that's the camping one. So, yeah, my memory of this was much more of a straight adventure show.
Yeah.
So
that was not to be here. What about you, Steve? What about you? You're okay.
I'm kind of along with Eric on this, that it bugged me that like there were no real situations that required the thing.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like, oh, that guy cut me in line. Hang on a minute, guy.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, instead of being like, hey man, you cut us, do you mind? Or like just being like, whatever, let's roll it. Yeah. No, like, so, and I kept thinking of like, so he's got a ring on each hand.
Yeah, that is that's tough to swallow. Yeah.
I know. I was like, that bugs me. But yeah, no, it was like,
maybe it was less questionable in the 70s.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But it just
2 rings, groovy, man.
Ridiculous. Like, parking spot. What was the other one? The other thing that really bugged me too was the fact that like the thing would show up. So like the motorcycle race, right? The thing kind of showed up and did his thing, and like no one was just like, whoa, what was that?
No,
what was that thing?
Yeah, Betty seems infatuated with him.
Yeah,
he's like, I want to keep it secret. It's a secret, but like
it's a very accepted thing in this world.
Yeah,
he's going to show up, and people are like, hey.
He's famous, and Betty seems to have a crush on him, which I guess is supposed to be funny because she doesn't like Benji.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in the camping one, she's like, oh, it's that fantastic thing. And,
oh, nice. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But doesn't the younger sister kind of know?
Yeah, right? The younger, the tomboy, the blonde tomboy.
She's hip to it.
Girl.
Yeah, she knows. That's why she
Sally Field role.
Yes, yeah. So Kelly, definitely reminds Benji, like, oh, I know how Reginald or Ronald, whatever won.
Yeah, we gotta get this right. It's Ronald Radford III. Steve consistently said Ronald Rashford in his overview.
Sam, or was it Mace?
Sam and Mace. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept thinking, Reagan. Because Reagan at this point is still a famous actor, right?
That's true. Yeah, the actor. So for me, I'm going to give it to the convoluted motorcycle. It wasn't even a rescue. It was Ronald's on the motorcycle and he can't steer it and he can't brake, and so you think the thing is going to snatch him off the motorcycle or whatever. But he unroots a tree, and then he zooms by on a motorcycle and he punches through a mountain, and then he makes it so that Ronald wins. And I don't remember why they didn't want the bikers to win, but Ronald wins, and that's a whole thing. But it's just like so convoluted, like every step of the way. But I have to give it props to after he pulls the tree, and they're like, we still got to catch him, and you just see the thing and the younger sister like strafe by on a motorcycle, like they just had it, they just like pulled it in front of the camera, and I thought it was so funny the way the thing is just like. So that cracked me up.
They got to keep catching up to him every time.
Exactly. Yeah. I just seeing the thing on that tiny motorcycle with that tiny little girl was just a very funny image to me. So
I don't know. Maybe next time do the race that has turns. If you plan on sabotaging the steering, like that would be a thing to maybe not have a straight race.
I guess I'm just the target audience for this because I was just eating it up.
I love Hanna-Barbera. Like I grew up watching a bunch of it. Like, apart from this podcast, like 2 weeks ago or something, I went on a deep dive on Wikipedia on like all of Hanna-Barbera history and just going through. Oh, it's because that Space Ghost comic has been getting a lot of praise, and it just ended. And I was like, how much do I remember? And I just went through, and like I've remembered so many of them. And I remember this one, but this one, watching it this time, like this is not one of the stronger examples of Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, I mean, it was in production for 3 months? It's like September.
It's great.
December.
There's there's 13 episodes of Fred and Barney Meet the Thing, but there's 26 episodes of The Thing.
Right, because it was 2 for every 1 episode of Fred and Barney. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right, let's get to Ichiwawa moment. So this is the best part. What's the best part? Steve, what do you think?
I don't know. I knew the show was only 11 minutes. I think I caught myself checking the time like twice, which I did feel bad about when I was like, "Oh shoot, only 30 seconds went by." That was unfortunate. And it's like I don't know.
I did look as well. I'm like, how is there still 6 minutes?
It definitely. So the very beginning. Yeah, how is there still 6 minutes? The very beginning felt so nostalgic to me. I don't know why. It just was like, oh, I feel like I am like watching like a Saturday morning cartoon. It just brought me back. I think that was the first and only time that I felt like, oh wow, this is awesome. And then the episode started, but it was like them driving in a car. It just felt like that, where everything was like a painting behind them, and they were the only thing moving.
Yeah, I love those matte
paintings. And so like that to me felt very nostalgic.
I also love just the title card. The title card with like the green and like the thing right in the center, like, hey, it's me, the thing. Like, I thought that was pretty cool.
What revolting development will I find myself in today?
It is funny how when he transforms, he talks like that, and like Betty's like in love with him, and it's like, he sounds like he's 50. Sounds like a 50-year-old from like Queens or something.
I'll tell you what this was missing. Him coming out at the end and being like, kids, we had a lot of fun today, but there's nothing funny about a lack of motorcycle safety. Like, that's what it needed.
That's what it needed.
Always wear a helmet. What about you, Eric? What's your Ichiwawa?
Out of the medicine cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm cheating. I'm giving it to the camping episode I watched.
That's not, okay.
Not even the right episode.
I guess because if that's what you do on Previously on X-Men, we'll have to.
There's an episode, that camping episode, he transforms in a cave and there's a bear and the bear wakes up. So he's like, hold on, let me do this. And he starts singing Rockabye as the thing. And the bear just runs away. He's like, I know I'm not an opera singer, but I didn't know it was unbearable.
That's pretty good.
Oh, man.
I'm going to give it to that moment.
Okay. All right. I'll allow it.
I wish there was a moment like that in this episode.
Yeah.
There weren't any great puns.
There was
what it was.
No. This is definitely a show. Like, I had to watch it on YouTube because I don't think it's commercially available anywhere, and it's not on Disney Plus. Like, it's not streaming anywhere.
This show, I was reading like the legal rights about this, and that it, Warner Brothers owns Hanna-Barbera. Marvel still owns. It's just, it's never going to show up again.
It's an IP nightmare because everyone owns a piece of it. Yeah.
Well, I guess as soon as Disney buys all those companies, we'll see it again. But,
that's true.
There is a playlist on YouTube, and the next one started, and after that one, the next one started, and I was kind of like, I could keep going, so I could see myself revisiting this. I sort of already mentioned my Ichiwawa moment, but it was the 1-2 punch with that banana pie. The first time around, she sets the pie down, and you just know something's going to happen, and then the ball
she
comes.
Can't wait for the students to try the pie. In fact, she can't wait.
Right, and then boom, baseball, and then at the end, the thing is in one of those like 1940s change into your 2-piece male bathing suit tents at the end. And she's like, I'm just going to hide this pie over here. And he changes and she like, throws it. And it's like, they give it just enough time for her to be walking with the pie where you don't know when the disaster is going to strike, but you know it's going to strike. And I appreciated that. So yeah, I'm a fan. How many yub nubs do we want to give this? Out of 5.
5. Oh boy. I'll start because I imagine mine's the lowest. I'm giving it 2 yub nubs.
Oh,
no, okay. I was thinking 2 as well. 2 yub nubs.
Watching this did not give me the nostalgia I thought was going to happen, having had watched this cartoon as a kid. And like when you sent me the link to this show, like, oh, we're doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, of course, yeah. Like the 2 rings combining and all that. I thought I was going to be washed over by So I don't know. Maybe after this, I'll go watch Birdman. Or
Body in a wood chipper.
Too good. No, I think I'm higher than that. And it's partly because
2.5.
I'm gonna say 3 because I love like these vintage superhero cartoons, like those 80s Spider-Mans we were talking about, the 60s stuff. I just always like watching those. I love Hanna-Barbera, and I have never seen this show. Like, not even
Is that true?
Of this show. Yeah, never.
Yeah, I never saw this show either. Yeah.
I mean, you watched the Fantastic Four one?
Yeah,
Fantastic Four show.
Okay, so you had
show.
seen that Hanna-Barbera, but you've just weird. I mean, it's like late 70s, and they probably weren't. I mean, I must have been watching it on Cartoon Network if I had seen it. I can't imagine where else I would have watched this as a kid.
Well, again, that YouTube thing we watched had the Boomerang logo in it, so clearly they were airing it over and over again. But no, I never saw it. I knew of it. I mean, I love the Flintstones too. I was a big Flintstone Kids fan when I was like that age when it was out.
I mean, it is crazy that they called it Fred and Barney Meet the Thing, but like, there's no episode where they meet. Like, that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, especially, I mean, geez,
false advertising.
It's like, there's rocks, bedrock. I mean, it just seems like there's something.
Yeah.
If the Flintstones can meet the Jetsons, why can't they meet the Thing in their own show?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not super uncommon though. I mean, a more recent would be like the Batman Superman hour. Like, they didn't really interact outside of like once, in a crossover. But I guess at least you got that once. But yeah, it is a shame. It's a shame that there's not some, even like little connecting segments or something,
Something, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad we did it. I feel like now a gap that I didn't even know existed is back in there. So, so I think
you never knew existed, and you never knew you needed to see.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, well, if you're an Endorian Life fan, the next time on This Endorian Life, we're going to be back to the Yoda Chronicles covering Menace of the Sith, which is the second episode of the show. We left on quite a cliffhanger, so we'll see where we go from there. Eric, what about previously on X-Men? What are you guys covering next?
Well, for previously on X-Men, the topic will be the X-Men 97 prequel comic, Great Expectations, but it's X-Pectations.
Oh, see, we were
X.
That's the kind of pun we were missing in this episode.
Yes. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, happy crossover, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Happy crossover.
It's clobbering time. Sorry.
It's clobbering. Wait a minute.
Sorry.
Do your thing. Thing ring.
Thing ring. You know what? After a while, every time he said "thing ring, do your things," I was like, "Did he say Ving Rhames, do your thing?" Because that'd be different.
Yeah, Ving Rhames, do your thing.
10 seconds,
Benji. Oh, dang, we went for the same.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Oh,
bye, everybody.
Until the next crossover. This Endorian Life and previously on X-Men are brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. Be sure to check out some of the back episodes of retired shows like Radio 64 and 3 Nice Things on YouTube. Plus new episodes of 902 and Here We Go. Please rate, subscribe, and share these shows wherever you get your podcasts.
Ichiwawa! I wonder how Ving Rhames would feel about that.
He's just happy to be getting work.
He's